Okay, sorry about the abrupt end to the previous video. Okay, so we were just discussing how the submucosal glands in the submucosa of the bronchial wall, how they go up to the surface. So, if we have the surface here, let's say, ooh, these are large cilia. They look like, that looks like a birthday cake with candles on. Okay, let me just extend it a little bit more. So this represents the basement membrane here in turquoise. Okay, and here are these columnar epithelial cells here. Okay, and then basically what is going to happen is they're going to be continuous with columnar epithelium that lines the submucosal gland here. And it will sort of go round and form the beginning of this tube here. So here is the basement membrane here. Okay, and here are these cells. Now what will gradually happen is they'll lose the cilia. Okay, so as you go down, what will happen is they won't have cilia anymore. Okay, so here are now these columnar epithelial cells which are going to line this submucosal gland. Okay, now let me add the other layers so that this makes sense. Okay, so if I put in the lamina propria now, in orange here, so here's the lamina propria. Okay, then underneath that you have the layer of smooth muscle cells, which is here in red. Okay, and again I'll make that a little bit more thick now. And as you can see, what's happened is this structure has gone through those two layers and it's now in this submucosal layer. And then what will happen is it will go on, basically. Even though I haven't shown this, obviously it's coming either out of the page now or going into the page. So if you imagine this tube continuing on out of the page or either into the page, that's what is happening basically. You have these tubes running in the submucosal layer, which are basically these tubes of basement membrane with columnar epithelial cells on them, which are secreting, well, I haven't told you what they're secreting yet. They're secreting mucus, basically. So these also help with the goblet cells to secrete mucus. Okay, so they're going to be producing mucus. Right, and that mucus will sort of ooze out of the submucosal gland onto the surface of the epithelial cells, okay? And that will help with the mucociliary escalator. So that's the main thing this submucosal layer contains. So let me just label this up as this submucosal layer. Okay, or often it's just known as the submucosa. So we've had the mucosa and now we've had the submucosa, and basically separating them we have the lamina propria and this layer of smooth muscle cells. Okay, so this is also called more properly the submucosal submucosal layer, not submucosal epithelium. Okay, submucosal layer, and it contains what are known as submucosal glands. So this is a submucosal gland, which, remember, are these tubes of columnar epithelial cells which are secreting mucus that are just sitting on a basement membrane. Okay, so these are submucosal glands, and you'll have these all the way around, so I'll put some more up here to make it more realistic. Okay, right, so there's that submucosal layer. Now what is the final layer that surrounds the submucosal layer? Well, basically it's a cartilaginous layer. Now this is not a complete layer. It doesn't form a complete ring. You don't have a complete ring of cartilage around the submucosal layer or the bronchus. Okay, instead what you have are a bunch of interconnected plates, okay? So, in cross-section, this will look just like so. But it's better viewed longitudinally, so we'll draw a picture longitudinally in a moment. So this is a great big lump of cartilage here. Okay, and then we'll also have more lumps, maybe another one over here. Okay, and then maybe another one here. And this is what you would call the cartilaginous layer of the wall of this bronchus. Okay, so here is another lump of cartilage that's around the submucosal layer, and here is another one here. Okay, so as I say, this is better viewed longitudinally. So let me draw now a picture of a bronchus where we don't look at it in cross-section, instead we'll look at it longitudinally. So, a good start is to draw a tube. Okay, so here is a tube. So if you now look at it from this sort of an angle and look at the cartilage that surrounds it, what you'll see is structures that look like this, basically. Okay, you'll sort of see a meshwork like this. Okay, so this is what is meant by an interconnected plate sort of meshwork, okay? So let's maybe connect to this one up here. Okay, so this is a great big lump of cartilage, and you can see that it's sort of connected up with other plates of cartilage. So we might call this one a plate of cartilage, we might call this a plate of cartilage, but they're all connected basically. So you have sort of cartilage surrounding the bronchus in this sort of haphazard way, where you've got plates of cartilage which connect up to each other, but you have got portions where there is no cartilage that is surrounding the submucosal layer. So it's not a complete covering, instead it has this interconnected plate structure. Okay, so these are interconnected plates of cartilage. Okay, so that now concludes our discussion of the structure of the walls of the bronchus.